Hello everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Royale. The I'm not doing titles for the first series I actually started when recording, but if I would give a title to this episode, it's probably going to be what to do with this French-Dutch war. Thing is, the governor mentioned that he wanted to take more French towns. Now, I have been pointing out this a few times, and I will do that a couple of more times in the future, I'm sure for that. My intention is to get 15 cities, starting with the basic Dutch cities, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Nassau, and Ros, that's 4, Cat Island, Charlestown, Turks, that's 6. Then I've conquered Florida Keys, Augustine, Fort Caroline, and Charleston. Adding 4 makes 10. I want 15 cities. And in the way I want to reduce the influence the Spanish and the English have close to my town. If I want to do that, I have to capture Isabella, Tortuga, that makes 12, Gibara makes 13, Santiago makes 14, and probably Havana makes 15. That's one thing. That's one of my plans. Now, like I said, the governor asked me if I was prepared to capture another French city, but the French had too many convoys, and I had to destroy that. Currently, the French are at 5 towns. If I want to give them 15, I have to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Spanish cities, and the line will be somewhere around this. So that's the French territory. But the moment I start capturing 1 or more French cities, pushing the border of the Dutch and the French up, I will also make sure that capturing cities here, those two, and that one, will become a lot harder, or actually even not required. What I want to do in the end is, when all 4 nations have their 15 cities, is making cities switch sides, which means the French want, they have the 15 cities, the ones I pointed out, like this part. So the Nombre de Dios and Rawatan are their border. The first city I would, for instance, capture for the French would be Cayman, when they are at war with the Spanish. After that, do nothing. Then at some point the Spanish and the English are fighting, which means Grenada or maybe Port-au-Prince or Santo Domingo would switch allegiance. Then when Spain and France are back at war, Spain would recapture Cayman, and perhaps Roatan. So I will make sure that the nations have 15, 14, 16 cities maximum, and that's it. By doing so, I keep a lot of things under control, but I'm also able to capture all the land, get all the land from the governors, which, no, not from the governors, from the viceroys, which will offer me each and every city a player can have in this game. That's my eventual goal. I want all those 16 cities. I need 2 times a city, 2 cities being captured to get a quarter of the land, and each country offers 4. So if I have cities moving back and forth when all the nations are of equal strength, then things are a lot easier. And eventually, when having all those cities from the Spanish and the English, I will actually start concentrating on getting the rest of the cities for the Dutch by conquering each and every city except for the viceroy cities, and thus forcing my opponents, well, in general, out of the Caribbean. So my dilemma is this: if I capture Tampa, I may be able to get another quarter, or I have to capture Port St. Joe as well, but that pushes the Dutch border up to here. In a way that makes it easier for the French to control things and for the Dutch to control things. And it would give me my 3rd quarter for Manzanillo. So those are the nice things. But at the same time, I don't know yet, because I would actually destroy the balance I was hoping to get. And it will make things a little bit more complicated to get more control with the Dutch on this area, because I do have to protect Manzanillo. And the best way to do that is making sure that at least Gibara, Santiago, and Tortuga are under Dutch control. Isabella is having one of my warehouses, so at that, it's already 4 cities. So yes, I'm having my doubts. I'm not sure what to do. And because of that, I'm thinking about simply leaving this war as it is. Only fight off French convoys if I see them, and don't do anything else. At least up to the point where the war stops and I'm able to repay the French. Hopefully not as much as the amount of money I have, otherwise that'll be a problem. And prepare for another war. The Dutch and English are having a war at the moment. So I can actually get to that as well. But yeah, like I said, I don't know yet. I have my doubts if I should really demolish the French already, or if I should wait. So I can try to turn the tides towards the English as soon as the French are back to neutral. And I can actually check that.
You know quite well I'd tell you to go to hell under normal circumstances. But in dire times like these, I'd sell my soul to the devil himself. So come on in. I have something to tell you. You have wreaked much destruction upon my nation. But you are also the only man who can save our fate. I will offer you our friendship. What do you say?
2 million. That leaves about $500,000 to do my trading again.
I'm delighted. My nation has recently lost its last governor town to its enemies. If these enemy nations are weakened by having their... I will gladly task you with capturing a town belonging to our enemies. But, unfortunately, they still have too many military convoys. I don't have any other news for you.
So with that done, I will have to start my convoys. Trinidad, Tortuga, Tampa. Active. That one is under attack by French, I guess. So in the last seconds, they captured, and yeah, well, I guess some crap happens. Question is where to send him. Manzanillo, that's obvious. Lord St. Joe. So basically I just made a choice to stop attacking French and instead concentrate on making money again and maybe deal with the English later. Port St. Joe. Unload everything. Load what is producing. Grain, fruit, corn, cotton. Guys, this is basically indigo. No. And settlers. Grain, fruit, corn, cotton, Manzanillo. Unload everything. Load. No grain, no corn, no cotton. Looks like I can type the whole name. Rename. Yep. Active. go. All the French ships showing up as black dots right now are not happening anymore. Still, they have a military convoy here, and according to this, they had free. It's my town. And I knew from previous episode, that's the second, they actually had the convoys in that cities. So for some stupid reason, convoys from out of these 5 cities have all of a sudden transported here. Weird. But never mind. New Orleans. So he can sail back to Manzanillo now. 000. He can sail back to Manzanillo. And my trainer is also having no points. 1 point. 2 points. No points. 1 point. And 1 point. That's that one. Nothing here. I really would get some extra military frigates. I think it's time to check my logbook about everything that's actually 80k. Yeah, I knew that. That's normal, because I just lost 2 million. Let's see how this works out. Isabella, extra, okay. So I have to load up a lot of items from here. Yep. Grain. There's the hunter. So let's unload that convoy, and I need to do the same thing over here. Wait, Santiago was the wrong one. I need Kibara. Corn, sugar, and Stormfront. Not really important. Well, that's not true. It is important. Because it will cause damage to my ships, and with that interrupt my trade routes, because ships need to be repaired more often. At least I'm using my ships for something. That's what they meant for, transporting lots of goods. Should be able to yeah, should be able to get everything out with the current convoy. No, I'm not. Hey. Yeah, of course. If you keep a ship docked, we get this effect. The convoy to Andros was waiting for so long. Oops. Now the big question actually is, what would letter of mark with the English cost me? $190,000. But I need at least 2 million to recover from the damage I did to them. So it's not a good idea to attack them yet. Start with this. Don't think sugar is actually a problem. But I do have to adjust some of my trading routes by the look of things. Where's my transport? There's transport. Okay, you had 4 points. which means you're sailing off to Pensacola. Loads fruit, wood, and see if I don't have enough wood yet. Corn, cotton, dyes, and settlers. Fruit, wood, corn. Yeah, right. Fruit, wood, corn, cotton, dyes, and settlers. And now it's time to repair the rest.
Let me tell you something about Spain's riches. By conquering half of the globe, the Spanish crown found itself able to avail of unique opportunities. Over a period of several centuries, up until the demise of the great American cultures of the Incas, Mayas and Aztecs, and the discovery of huge silver deposits in Peru and Mexico by the latest, Spain's position appeared to be unassailable. It seems almost absurd that it was precisely this immense wealth that precipitated this world power's decline. A large part of the treasures sent back by ship to Spain went directly into the pockets of those traders north of the Pyrenees who had financed the voyages in the first place. However, the remainder was still sufficient to drive up price levels on the Iberian Peninsula. People there began living beyond their means. In an age where the ability to hold court on a grand scale was considered more important than balancing the state budget, people paid little attention to trivial financial concerns. Goods were imported in ever-increasing quantities aboard foreign ships because people had become far too refined to produce them at home. Even the equipment and provision for the expeditions to America were seldom provided by the domestic traders. People remarked with pride, "All of Europe is at Spain's command." However, the flow of silver had to run dry eventually, and the rude awakening that followed would resemble a hangover after a long night's drunken carousing. The Dutch and the British were attempting to drive Spain from the high seas. Numerous religious wars against the Protestant heretics and against the Turks had devoured enormous sums of money, and the vast empire on which the sun never set had developed into an ungovernable colossus. The crisis was apparent to all in the year 1557, when the new Spanish ruler, Philip II, was forced to declare state bankruptcy for the first time. The great empire, which had held greater treasures than any empire that had gone before, was broke.
Fighting the Protestant heretics, that's the 80 Years' War against the Dutch, and eventually also part of this 30 Years' War in the early 17th century, eventually ending Both wars were ending in 1648. The Dutch were an independent country. Protestants basically had a firm grip in Northern Europe, and Spain was being called bankrupt for several times. So 1557 was the first time Spain went bankrupt, but it wasn't the last time. And one of the reasons the Dutch revolted was not just because they were called heretics, but also because Spain was levying more and more taxes on their European possessions, of which the local residents didn't see anything return, other as some oppressive measures. So it was a series of events, and this is only one of them, which actually started the Dutch War of Independence, or the 80 Years' War as they call it. So there's a mission to send dice to England. If I am able to get the Conquistador here and equip it with several of the carracks I have in here, it's 5, then I got cargo load to empty a lot of those 1200. 19 days. September, so I do have the full month of it. And I'm able, even this convoy is already able to transport quite a lot. Doesn't say how much. 1400. And I have 1200 sitting here. So yes, that's a very nice mission. Baptiste Roren. Okay, no points. At least I have all my convoys here. Here's the storm front, and it looks like it's going to hit Isabella. Not that much. But it will hit that city. And I need to adjust the trade route here. Corn and sugar needs to be cut down. Cocoa also needs to be cut down. That's 500 shipping, should be enough. I need to cut down on cocoa. Sugar and corn. Let's see what happens next. Mistake, almost. I have to wait until it did its trading, and now I'm able to transfer goods. So, I'm having a famine here. Where's the convoy to Nassau? Do I even have a convoy to Nassau? I should have. I do. But it's not picking up any. grain here. Which either means I think I know. Spain, England. That explains. So the letter of marque is close to 200,000, and to pay it off you need at least 2 million. So my goal is to get this up to 2 million. I don't need that 8 million for the next rank. That'll come at some point anyway. It's really the 2 million needed to pay off the English in case I decide to actually attack them. For 2 cities, I think 2 million is, yeah, cheap. Well, it was worth it for 1 city when I was dealing with the French. So let's see, Guadeloupe. I have a mission going, so it's likely that sooner or later a military convoy is trying to deal with that. So it's better to prepare in advance. Because that would make it a lot easier for me. Preparing in advance would make it a lot easier for me to deal with everything if / when things are about to go wrong. Have that guy still waiting. Jean Lafitte. Okay. 4 ships. I could deal with that. We do have 2 pirates, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Rackham. I think Rackham was located there. And yeah, to use a silly pun, at some point I'm gonna wreck Rackham. And I have to deal with Lafitte at some point as well. So that's another thing to look at. Nothing out there yet, okay. Not yet. Yeah, I already knew he was there. Hey. One convoy, 5 ship, and 2. So I think that's going to be the next episode, the next mission in the next episode, dealing with Rackham. Glad that pilot left this one alone. Of course, these are fun missions as well. 6 ships, 3 carracks, 2 galleons, and a caravel. Nice. But I have to take it in 2 steps. Two days. Let's see what he has to report. Not going to take care of her yet, because I would like to find more artifacts first. Finally! Oh, wait. First, this guy. I can actually move that one out, because let's see, I get 220 for each. And 118. That's going to be quite the profit. I don't think it's a convoy. And if I take the corvette out and add another caravel, this is why I want to do the big ships. If I give this one a full crew, don't have full weapons right now, but if this one has a full crew, including the bottom 5 ships, it's a devastating force to capture cities. And in the end, I will end up with a military convoy made of 6 liners. That's, sorry, not 6 liners, 10 liners. That's 2,000 men. But I need to be able to afford it. That's number one. And I need to capture the ships first. That's number two. And as long as I don't have that 2 million compensation money, I don't think it's a good idea. So that means the Dutch are fighting. I have a letter of marque against the Dutch. It means the Dutch are fighting on 3 fronts right now. He's going after this convoy. Choices, choices, choices. Let's deal with him first. Because it looks like my trading convoy is able to outrun the pirates. This is going to be my last fight as well. It's going to be a difficult one. So it doesn't matter which ship I start with, but I have to avoid the 2 galleons. Carracks are my first priority right now, because of the speed of 12 knots compared to the 10. But seeing the number of men, this isn't going to become an easy one. They will do anything they can to lock me in and board me ASAP. Especially with those 3 carracks, because those will outman me. The rest is a little bit easier to deal with. So, number 1, avoid being locked in. Number 2, make sure that they won't be able to lock me in by destroying their sails. And make sure that you're able to reduce their crew fast enough. One down. Almost a similar number of crew as I have, but at least they're down. Maybe I'm lucky, sort of, and we encounter a captain which is actually willing to fight. Because if I do that and I win the fight, I won't lose my crew, but I will capture a ship. Ooh. Yeah, I was afraid of that. So, the AI tactics is simple. Galleons to do the damage to me. Carracks to catch up on me. And capture. Board. And that's number 2. Won't be long before number 3 goes down as well. If I'm not hasty. Like that. That means it won't be long before I'm getting number 3, but I have to be careful of this galleon. Which means I have to clear out of this area by now. Otherwise I am screwed. And there's the next. At this point on, I can almost say that I won the fight. Almost, because he's trying to become a pain in the butt. And down. Like I said, almost. They still outnumber me. Just not for long. If the wind wasn't such a pain, but never mind. One, two, three above 100. Let's see. 2, 3, 480 for me. 580 for me. 308. 35. 41. 2, 400. Yeah, like I said, I've won. The nice thing, if I actually hit them, you can see the reduction on the health bar and the crew on these as well. So I'm currently hitting this one. Of course, you see the same effect happening to my ships. The only difference, I can only use one ship. So it's pretty obvious which one of my ships is doing the damage to them. So that one's mine for sure. I have to take out this one. And after that, I think I can capture multiple of their ships in one run. But to do that, I have to get behind them, and under the circumstances, that's not going to happen if I keep making these mistakes. I went off too far.
All clear for action.
So let's see if I'm able to take a few out without. Damn. Never mind. Different ship.
Ready to board. We're ready to board.
Otherwise, I will lose them. The wind shifted in the wrong direction for me. Fuck. Sorry, pardon my Spanish. Right. So he remains.
All clear for action.
He keeps stuck being there, which is not helpful to me. Because it makes it very hard to get damage done to it. But in the end, I win.
Make ready to board. Everyone in position.
And even my damaged ship is sailing faster as that galleon. Now the only one I need to take out is the galleon, but sailing against the wind, so he will have the advantage. But yeah, lots of damage. Wait, I didn't hit it. He will try to board me, given the previously higher number of crew. That's not going to work anymore.
All clear for action. We're ready to board.
This was a pretty tough fight, frankly speaking, because I've lost quite some crew. But in the end, I win. And we get a nice reward out of it as well. First thing I'm going to do now is getting back to my 600 sailors. And after that, it's off to Manzanillo with hopefully that pirate not attacking the hunter, because that fleet is not in the right shape to deal with another pirate fleet. Unless I'm very lucky. Yes, I am lucky. He saw this fleet and decided to run. He probably, took on Lafitte. I thought so. So for the time being, my ships are safe again. Plus, I also have currently enough big ships to replace those three and create a big city conquering convoy. Now, I do have, that is, I do have a convo here somewhere. 3, 4, 2. I need to sell cannons at some point. That's why I'm already loading up. Otherwise, all my warehouses will be filled with cannons at some point. And cannons do take space. I have to be careful about this because I'm smuggling. So each and every military convoy I see, I need to avoid. Looks like things are working fine. Marketplace. There. Smuggler. Conquistador. Accept. So we have 1 million in stock right now. 210. $200,000. That doesn't feel right. 18 times 201,960. Okay, well, it's 200k. So with that in mind, wait. No military frigates. With that in mind, it's a nice mission. Plus, we're already back at 1.2 million, so that's going well too. 270 for this one. Assets are still down, but yeah, 600,000 and forecast of 121. Augustine. Let's check. Too much sugar and cotton. Okay. Too much sugar and cotton, but I can't produce meat here. So, you know what? Let's build another one. And another house. Impossible. That means this is going down, but I need to adjust sugar and cotton on this convoy. Bahama, convoy list. St. Augustine. Edit. Manzanillo. Sugar and cotton down. That should do it. I also think that for today, this should do it. And okay, I'm going to do my usual speech. Thanks for watching. I do hope you've been enjoying it. I did. It was fruitful. Yes, we lost 2 million to pay off the French, but in the end, it was a good one. It was a choice I had to do. Like I said, if I add another city or 2 cities to the Dutch Empire taken from the French, then I will get a problem with the French area later. So that's a choice I had to make. And I think for the time being, I made a good one. So that's one thing. Defeating that pirate certainly was a good thing. And giving all income going up right now, I may actually be able to recover pretty soon. The only thing that's going to puzzle me next is, am I going to fight the English or the Spanish and get Isabella and Tortuga under my control? I haven't made that one out yet. The Dutch are, for the time being, strong enough to deal with both, but the big problem is the bottleneck, this area. So we'll see
It's
what the
good to
Viceroy
see you here.
says.
I would gladly task you with capturing a town belonging to our enemies. I have enough military convoys to protect the newly captured area. However,
Right. I need settlers here, which isn't that much of a problem. So we have a mission popping up about capturing a town from the English. Tortuga would be my first choice because of reassuring the strait here. I'll think about it. For now, thanks for watching. I do hope you've been enjoying it. I also hope you have a very good week next week. Hope to see you around next week. Goodbye.